Okay, so I want to show you a trick that I always do when I'm doing animations. What you see in the screen is a software that is called Reaper. And Reaper is a DAW, or a digital audio workstation, which is basically a software that you use to record sound and edit it and add effects and things like that. And I like to use it when I'm creating the voices of my characters. So for this project, we're going to have 3 characters, and I also have a track for sound effects. So as you can see here in the screen, I have 3 tracks, each containing one of my characters. So the way that Character Animator works is that you need to have a separate file or a separate track for each of the voices or each of the characters that you want to lip sync. So you need to export tracks as separated files. And this is something that you can do very easily with any of the DAWs that are available. But one of the coolest things that Reaper can do is what they call regions. And I guess the best way to explain regions is basically it is a length of time. Let me show it to you. The way that you make a region in Reaper is very simple. You have to make a time selection. In my case, I just need to drag my left click across whatever length of time that I want. Then you make right click and then you create region from selection, or you can use a keystroke. What it is going to do is it's going to create this tab, I guess you can call it. And this tab is a region, which is a length of time, like I mentioned. So in the project that I'm doing, I have created 4 regions, or 4 lengths of time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to export files using the regions. So for each region, it is going to separate the 4 tracks. For this length of time, that is just right here, it is going to export 4 files. And for this length of time, it is going to export another 4 files. And the same is going to happen for this region, and the same is going to happen for this region. So what I'm going to do to export this is I'm going to File, Render. I'm going to select my source as Selected Tracks via Master, and for that I have to select all my tracks because I need, all of the tracks that I have. And then the bounds, for the bounds, I'm going to select all project regions, which are the regions that I just created, or the lengths of time that I created. Then for the file name, you can use this fantastic feature that Reaper has, which is called the wildcards, which are basically information that you can add to the file name. In my case, I have selected first the region, or the name of the region, which in my case are just numbers. And then I have selected the name of the track. So I'm going to render this in the folder that I have selected. And this is what Reaper has created. And as you can see from the file names, it has created 1 file per track per region. And this is something very cool. Let me show you why. So I have opened Character Animator, and I'm going to import the files that I just exported from Reaper. I'm going to select all of them. I'm going to import them. And this is very cool to have, because basically what Reaper did was to create files that all have the same length, but each of them contain different information. If I'm going to create my first scene in the script, all I have to do is select all of the files that correspond to the first scene, which in my case are all the files that contain this 01 prefix. I'm going to select them all, and then I'm going to add them to a new scene. And as you can see, I have here my files, but each of them contain different information. But the cool thing about this is that all have the same length, which means it is very difficult to get them out of sync. Having these separate files in my timeline means that I can have my puppets lip synced to the contents of these audio files, which is really great. And as I mentioned, Reaper is my weapon of choice when creating audio for my animations and for a lot of things too. If you don't have a tool to create audio and you are looking for one, I would highly recommend for you to get Reaper. See you next time.